Hey guys, welcome back to Vlogmas Day 6. In today's video, I want to do a book cozy related video. I'm going to go through my entire bookshelf that I'm ending 2025 with. I just made a nice coffee. Look at how cute this mug is. I got it from Home Goods. So freaking cute. This is really hot though, so we're not going to drink this yet. So I did a reading journal in 2025 and now I'm continuing it in the new year. Video coming soon on my journal. Like, I'm working on it right now. But for one of the pages, a little sneak peek, I want to do a page of my bookshelf that I'm ending 2025 with so I can look back and see how much my bookshelf has grown. I am not a big book buyer necessarily. In the bookish, book talk, booktube world, I feel like I am on the lower end of buying books. I have 47 books. Some of them are DNFs, some of them are my TBRs, but most of them I have read. So that's pretty good of me, okay? I kind of categorized it in like a weird way. I have my nonfiction books, which I don't have many, my DNF, series, romance, mystery/thriller, just fiction that I couldn't think of like any other place to put it, and then I'll end the video with my TBR that I have physical copies of. So let's get started because we have a lot of books to get through. I'm just kind of going to go through them and tell you if it's worth buying, if it's worth reading, and kind of just like a little bit of a summary. Some of them I really don't remember much because I have like Colleen Hoover books from like 3-4 years ago. So I also stacked all these up and you can barely see them. Oh yeah. Okay, so get cozy and let's talk about books because I love putting on a booktube video and just getting cozy and doing work or reading or something like that. So grab hot cocoa, coffee, tea, water, whatever. This is still too hot to drink, so I'm just gonna put that down. All right, let's get started. Let's go through my nonfiction books because I don't have many. I have 2. The first one is the Emily Ratajkowski My Body memoir. I really enjoyed this book. I'm not like a nonfiction person at all. I actually hate nonfiction. I started reading nonfiction books. I tried to do like self-help books. I feel like we all go through that phase. It just didn't work for me, but these 2 nonfiction books that I'm going to tell you about actually was really good and I enjoyed it, and I don't even like, again, reading nonfiction books. This one is short and quick to read. It is kind of a heavy topic. It kind of gets me angry. This book basically talks about just how the world views her, because obviously she's a very beautiful woman. She has an amazing body, an amazing face. When you think of a beautiful woman, you think of Emily Ratajkowski. So she kind of just talks about how that affected her and like situations she went through in the world of just being a celebrity, being an actress, being this like figure. So it kind of goes through that. So it kind of gets you angry, especially when you're a woman, and it just like makes you sad. It just makes you feel a lot of things, and I like books that make me feel. So I really enjoyed this book. I really recommend because it's literally so short and it's very interesting to hear about. The next one, I guess I should probably read it now that I'm 26. I read it when I was probably 21, 22. And this book is called The Defining Decade, Why Your 20s Matter and How to Make the Most of Them Now. It was published in 2021, so it must have been around there that I read this, when I was 21 or 22. It honestly changed my perception of my 20s. And I think I actually want to read this, so I'm going to put this on my list to read for 2026 because I haven't read it in a while, obviously since I was 21, 22. So I think it's time to read it and see if my perspective kind of changes on where I'm at in life right now. But it says literally in the back, why 30 is not the new 20. Honestly, looking back, maybe this won't be good for me to reread. I'm gonna reread this. But it was worth me keeping it, and I wanted to give it to my sister because she's 22 now, but she was like, I don't read. So I'll keep this for my brother, who's 19 today actually, so he'll be 20 next year. It's good. I recommend if you are in your 20s. But I'll reread that. Maybe I'll do a TikTok on it when I reread it. So this is also the updated edition from 5 years ago, so maybe there's another updated edition. Okay, that was a lot to talk about with the nonfiction books. Now we're gonna get into the DNFs, and I'll tell you why I DNF these. Honestly, I don't have many, and this is just my physical copies. I read a lot on my Kindle, so I have a lot of DNFs on my Kindle, probably more. I think I have 7 right now on my Kindle. But the first one is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I'm definitely going to read this in the new year because I love the Dreamland Billionaire series by her. That's why I picked up this book. I was like, I love that series. That was my first series that I really enjoyed. So I figured I would like this one because it's the Lakefront Billionaires series. But I just couldn't get into it yet. maybe I need to give it some time. Like, I literally only got in 65 pages. So I guess I should probably try to read this again next year. It's a big book. But then again, the Dreamland Billionaire series was a really long book, but I read it on my Kindle, so I didn't really know how long it was, and I read through it so fast. So I will probably read this coming year. The next one is Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. I picked this up at a Goodwill actually, and usually I find some pretty good books when I'm thrifting, and I want to read this really badly. Like, this is not going to be on my DNF shelf. It's not really a shelf, I have 2 shelves of books, but this isn't going to be on my DNF shelf for a while because I really want to read this and then I want to watch the show. Oh, I got in 4 pages. This should not even be on my DNF. I'm gonna get back to this. These 2 are definitely going to be on my list for 2026. Honestly, these 3 are gonna be on my list. So I'm gonna make a pile of all the ones that I'm going to make sure that I read in the new year. Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. There is a lot of controversy going around about Jessa Hastings. I don't agree with a lot of the things that she's been doing. I bought this before, okay? I didn't know the whole lore behind her. I really loved Magnolia Parks, so I thought that I would love this. I just can't get into it, but I think that that's how I felt with Magnolia Parks because I was doing a book reading video, which will be linked in the description. I think that's why this hasn't done it for me. I was so into that book because I had to be for the video, and then like I finally like actually got into that book. I love that book. It's like my top 10-ish books I've ever read. So I feel like maybe I need to give this another try. I got in pretty far, 116. So I'll add it to my list for next year to read. Alright, those are the only DNFs that I have physical copies of. The next up are gonna be series. So this is a lot of different genres in a series. We have Every Summer After by Carly Fortune and One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. This is actually the Barnes & Noble copy, and it's really fucking pretty. Like, I love this. Anyway, I read this book I think 2 summers ago. I really like this. I gave it a 5-star. I really enjoyed this. This is the perfect book to read in the summer. Basically, the girl, Persephone I think, she went to a lake every single summer, how a lot of the summer books go. She left to go to the city. She comes back because I think like a tragedy happened. She runs into her old fling, or I don't remember if they were like together or they were just friends, but his name's Sam, and it basically goes through their story. This book actually had a great spin to this story, so you don't have to read the story in order to read One Golden Summer. This one I think I liked a little bit more because I read it so fast. Yeah, I like this one more. Charlie was their friend. I think it was Sam's brother, and it's his story with the girl across the lake, Alice. Really good. Both of these, if you want like a nice summer read, both of these are really good. Honestly, Carly Fortune writes a lot of good books, I've heard, and I've liked the 2 books I've read from her, so I'm definitely going to be reading her more. Really enjoyed these 2 books. The next series is like probably my 2nd or 3rd favorite. I don't know where it lands between this one and Dreamland Billionaires, but that is the Inheritance Game series. I actually have 4. The Brothers Hawthorne, like, we could have lived without. They're all by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. These 3 were so good. I love them. I got so attached to the characters so quick. I really enjoyed these. I would probably reread these. It gives the Knives Out with a little bit of love. So that's kind of the vibe. Knives Out vibe with a little bit of love. I really enjoyed it. I love all the brothers in it. I love the girl in it. I just love all the characters in these books. And then this one could have lived without, but I read it, so. And I think there's one more. But it's like, this is like a spin-off. Like, it has nothing to really do with these 3 books. These are like the main 3. Love this series. This is part of a series, so I will mention it here and not in the romance part. But that's Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. One of my favorite books. I love anything that has to do with London and English men, and this has that, and it's just literally Gossip Girl. BJ, I just kept thinking he was Harry Styles the entire time, and it was making this 10 times more enjoyable, so I highly recommend this book, especially if you were into Wattpad back in the day. This is the book for you. So this is also a 5-star read. Honestly, a lot of these are 5 stars. I already showed you. The last series that I own and I've read, I haven't finished it yet. I have 2 more books, I think. 3, 2. Boys of Tommen. I cannot wait for a year from now or 2 where I can reread these. I love these books so much. I read both of these this year. So good. So good. These are my 2 favorite from the entire series. I read Saving 6 and Redeeming 6. I liked them, but like I am obsessed with these books. In my opinion, Keeping 13 was better than Binding 13. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not, but there was just more going on in this one and it really wrecked me. Like, wrecked me. I could not stop talking about this book. Ask my boyfriend. Like, I was obsessed with this book. I can't wait to reread this at some point. If this is your sign to read this, because at first I was very intimidated by the length of these books and the fact that it was YA, put that aside. Put that aside and read this book. It's so good. 10 out of 10. The Boys of Tommen series, Chloe Walsh, the entire series, but these are the only 2 that I have physical copies of. Next up are my romance books that I have physical copies of that aren't part of series. The first one is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. 10 out of 10. This is another 5-star book that I have. I really enjoyed this book. I realize like I haven't been telling you what they're about, but a lot of them are like I've talked about on my channel before, and I think I've talked about this too. Basically, a girl and a guy, they're cursed. Every time she dates a guy and then they break up, the guy finds his true love after, and that's exactly what's happening to this guy named Justin, and they find each other on Reddit of all places. You think that's cringy? No, it's not. This is so cute. I love it, and I'm pretty sure I hated the fucking ending in like a good way. So if that tells you anything, I really enjoyed this book. All I'm saying, this is a really good book. I recommend this, especially for the summer, but you can honestly read this whenever. It takes place in the summer, but not really, in my opinion. The next one is Normal People by Sally Rooney. I've never read anything by her. I don't really like her writing style. I don't like that she doesn't use quotes. It really confuses me. Read it because it's quick and easy, but it's not my favorite. Like, I can do without this book, honestly. That's all I'm going to say about this book. I don't really have much to say. Alright, the last 5 that I have are romance books that I read a really long time ago. They're mostly Colleen Hoover. I had more Colleen Hoover because obviously that was my transition into reading fiction books. I started with Colleen Hoover and then I branched out. This book is based off of Wattpad, like a Wattpad story. They just put it in book form. It's actually really good. This is called Lockdown on London Lane by Beth Reekless. I read this in 2023 or 2. This is based off of COVID, which is kind of cool to read about. Basically, it's like different points of views of people living in the same apartment building, and it's just like how they go through lockdown. I think I kind of want to reread this because I don't really remember it that much. Yeah, it's just a bunch of different storylines of people in lockdown on London Lane. So, wow, I did not know that. This is the writer of The Kissing Booth. Is The Kissing Booth from Wattpad? This is a good book. It's quick and fun and it's just interesting. This was my first fiction book that I like read and liked. This is like one of my favorite Colleen Hoover books ever. And like I would love to reread it at some point. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. So good. I think I rated this a 5-star. Like I love this book. This is what really got me into reading. So quick and easy. Obsessed with this book. Then of course I have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I read this like I don't even remember when I read this. We all know this. We all like it. That's that. We all know what happens in the movie. The movie was really fucking good though, in my opinion. And then the almost last book of Colleen Hoover that I have physical copies of because my mom took all my other ones and I don't know where they are. Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. She is living with her best friend. She has a boyfriend. Her boyfriend cheats on her, so she moves, or maybe she stays. I don't know. But there's a man across the hall who plays guitar for her every day. I don't know, it was pretty good. If you just want like a quick Colleen Hoover read, it is good. And then it does have a novella after it called Maybe Not. Couldn't tell you what this book was about. I remember buying this on Amazon and realizing it was this small. So yeah, I don't really have much to say about these 2. They're just in my library. Okay, my next genre is mystery and thrillers, which is my favorite genre in my opinion, obviously because it's my favorite. Oh my god, I've been talking for a while. This video is gonna be really long. All right, first one up, The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I read 3 of her books so far. I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, this one, and then I think I read Good Girl Bad Blood, or maybe I haven't read that one yet. I don't remember, but This was really good. I didn't expect the ending to happen, which I say a lot about thriller mysteries, but like you understand it when you're reading it, you know? This one kept me on my toes, I will say. Like, this is a really good book. I think I rated it 5 stars. I would highly recommend reading this. Anything that Holly Jackson writes is really good because it keeps you, again, on your toes and like keeps you wanting to read more. So I really enjoyed this book. This is a recent read that I've read, and it's How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin. I wanted to read this for a really long time, and then I finally just pulled the trigger and bought it. Basically, this woman has been like trying to solve her own murder because like back when she was young, a psychic told her that she was gonna get killed and like just told her this whole poem. So she kind of has to figure out the poem, and then she dies, and then everyone else kind of has to figure out who murdered her because she has all this evidence, but the evidence is from before she was murdered, if that makes sense. Like the dead woman solving her own murder because she had all these clues. So it's really interesting. It's a really like interesting storyline. I don't know, it honestly keeps you entertained because you're like, who the hell murdered her, and are they going to figure it out by this dead woman's clues? The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. So I had a book club in the beginning of this year before I moved, and this was one of our books. I think this was our first book. I really like this. This is a hefty book, and honestly I kind of read it pretty quickly because it was keeping me entertained, but I wouldn't rate this a 5 star because I think it was just too long. I think they were dragging it out way too much. That's all I have to say about it. I wouldn't reread this, but I would recommend it to people to read. The next one is one I read, I think last year, is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. Really good. I really enjoyed this. Her husband disappears and she has a stepdaughter. He leaves her a note that says protect her, so she has to protect her stepdaughter even though her stepdaughter hates her. So it's a pretty good book. This is probably a book I would reread because I don't really remember it that much. I feel like I will enjoy that show. I love mystery shows. This is also a book I just read, and it's called Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Bolin. This is a really good book, but it made me like really anxious, but in a good way the entire time. Basically, her husband and the father of her son was really bad, abused her, so they escaped, and then her son's dating this girl. The girl winds up dead, and now the mom is scared that the son turned into his father, and basically goes through his whole trial. This is a really good book. I highly recommend it. I never saw anyone talking about this book. I just saw it at Barnes & Noble and it caught my eye. Really good book. The last 2 books of the mystery and thriller section. The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I actually bought this like a year before I read it, and I really liked it. I didn't expect the ending, and that's all I'm gonna say. And I think it was a quick read for me too, so I recommend this book if you are into mysteries and murder. Last one is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. This was one of the 5-star reads of this year for me. This is also a book that we had to read for our book club. I really loved this book. Didn't expect the ending once again, and I rated it 5 stars. The last genre of books that I've read are just fiction books that I don't really have a category for. So the first one is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I didn't rate this a 5 stars, but I really enjoyed it. It was a quick read. It's just like about this town. I think it is called Beartown, and they're like a big hockey town. Everything's about hockey, and like they're all just getting ready for like the hockey games, but then something happens and it kind of turns the whole town upside down, and then it kind of just goes through that. There's a trigger warning with this book. It's a good book, but I didn't rate it 5 stars. The next one is another book club book that we had to read. It was Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. I didn't like this book, I'm gonna be completely honest. It is kind of a mystery, so that aspect of it I really enjoyed, but I understand why this one's good. It just like wasn't my cup of tea, so that's okay. We can all like not like books and like them. So yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's good, but I wouldn't reread it. You know, it's not my fave. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I loved this book. Actually, this is the last book I just read. I love this book. I rated this 5 stars. I thought it was such an interesting plot line. This woman kills herself. She wakes up in the Midnight Library, which basically she can go to any book, and that would be her life if she changed one small thing. It's just like an infinite amount of different lives that she could have lived if she changed one little thing. So good. Honestly, this book It's fiction, but it makes you like rethink everything in your life while you're reading this, because you realize even though you think you're not at the spot you're supposed to be, you are at the spot that you're supposed to be, because this is everything that led up to this. It's the string theory. She worked at a store called The String Theory too, so it's kind of just like corny in that way, but like not at all. This book's so good. I rated it 5 stars and I really enjoyed it. So if you like need a book that's fiction but it like makes you rethink some life choices, this is the book for it, for you. The last stack are my, I'm ashamed, this is my TBR. Alright, let's go through them rapid fire. Ellen Hildebrand, The Hotel Nantucket. I'm gonna read this next summer. I think I tried to start it this summer, but I like didn't really start it at all, so I didn't even put this on my DNF. But I definitely want to read this summer if I go to Nantucket. I'm waiting until I go to Nantucket to read this, and that was inspired by Sarah Corley. Next one I just bought. Actually, I just bought these 2 books when I went to the Princeton Public Library in New Jersey. They have a bookstore, and then all of, like, the proceeds go back to the public library, so we went there. Everything was $2 and $3. This book, these 2 books, $2, hard copy for $2, brand new. So if you're in the area, go to Princeton Public Library and buy their books, because all the proceeds obviously go back to the library. Anyway, Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. I heard this book is so sad and I really wanted a sad book. And then I also got this book, Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I'm pretty sure I've seen this book and I love twisted types of books, so I think I'm gonna like this one. This one I just got in a blind date with a book that I just bought, and it's called This Girl's a Killer by Emma C. Wells. It sounds like a girl version of Dexter, and I love Dexter. Basically, she kills bad men, which slay, literally. So I'm excited to read this book. The next is a series that my friend gave me, but actually I'm gonna give it back to her because she said she might want to reread them. They're all Wattpad books as well. It's this series, and I'm kind of interested to read it. My friend said it was really good. The Cellar, Awake, and The Cabin by Natasha Preston. She is a Wattpad author. I don't know if these are specifically from Wattpad or not, but I'm excited to read these. I do want to read these at some point. I've had these on my shelf though for like 2 years, so. The next book is a little sneak peek because I'm about to read this either tonight or tomorrow. The Gingerbread Bakery by Lori Gilmore. I'm reading this for a Christmas related reading vlog, so stay tuned for that. I think it comes out in 2 weeks. So this is gonna be one of the books that I read, and I'm really excited. It's so fucking cute. Honestly, I love anything Christmas, so it could be like the worst book ever and I'm gonna love it. The next 2 books I got from the thrift store at the same time, and it's the Bridgerton Penelope story, which is my favorite Bridgerton season. So I do want to read this at some point. I just don't think that I can get into the whole way they write, but we'll see. This might be like when I'm like a little bit older. As I say, I'm 26, by Julia Quinn. And then this is Good Company by Cynthia Sweeney. I think I heard this was good when I bought this like a really long time ago. It's like a very old looking book, but I think I'm gonna like this. I don't know. I'll read this at some point. I'm saying it now. If I don't read these in the next year, actually I'm going to donate them. So hold me accountable, because I feel like I said that last year, but I'm saying it now for everyone to hear. If I don't read these in 2026, I'm donating them. The next book is also a book that I just got at the library too, and it's The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. I think this is a show, The Lying Game, or a movie, and for that reason I got it, because I love a book that turns into a show or a movie. Oh yeah, I did see that. Where did it say that? Missing Big Little Lies, dig into the psychology. I've been talking for too long. Dig into the psychological thriller about whether you can really trust your nearest and dearest. So yeah, it's giving Big Little Lies. I remember seeing that somewhere. That is all of the books in my 2025 bookshelf. Ooh. Can't believe I just talked for that long. I had to restart my camera 3 times. Well, I hope you enjoyed. If you've read any of these books, let me know in the comments. I'm really proud of this library. I don't want to buy too many books because I want to be able to say that I've read all of them, and obviously, as you can tell, I still have a lot of books that I need to read, so I need to stop buying them. But it is such a thrill to just I like to buy books at thrift stores and like public libraries like that, because you're not expecting to see those things. So when you do see the books, you're like, oh my god, I've been wanting to read that, I'm going to buy it. But if you just go to Barnes & Noble and stuff, I know what I'm getting. I know that they all are there. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's just that's just my thought process. I hope you are enjoying Vlogmas so far, and if you haven't watched any of my Vlogmases yet, I have 5 up already, so you can go to the playlist in the description and just watch through them because I love Vlogmas, and I hope you enjoyed my Vlogmas as well. So, Merry Christmas, Merry Vlogmas, and I will see you guys next Vlogmas video tomorrow and the rest of December.